Welcome to channel where we make your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested in migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side, so once you have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Alright, today's video we will continue on the topic of the National Innovation Visa, which we will take you into the Priority 2, which is require a so-called government agency to endorse or nominate. It's a little bit different approach, whereby the previous form of global talent, it doesn't specifically talking about how the state government or Commonwealth government or whatever the government agency could actually be a part of these visa application or criteria to actually endorse. Although there has been a lot of the previous GTA applicants utilizing state government or Commonwealth government, that's Austrade or DFAT, to actually utilizing the nominations. However, it wasn't really specified in its policy or perhaps a law or documentation. So we'll have a look at that one, and we'll also show you the hidden mysteries and probably something that you may wanted to seek for in the upcoming NIV 858 visa. Alright, so let's jump into the actual immigration's website. You may want to Google this under the phrase of National Innovation Visa Priorities. Now today we're going to specify and talking about this Priority 2. Now let's have a read. Now obviously there has been Priority 1, 2, 3, 4. We have talked about the Priority 3, that's Tier 1, and Priority 4, that's Tier 2. Now we're going to talk about Priority 2. It states here, it says candidate from any sector. So that's a sector that's we talked about in the Tier 1 and Tier 2. All right. Nominated on the approved Form 1000. That's the same form that has been used for Global Talent GTI previously, by an expert Australian, Commonwealth, state or territory government agency. Wow. Well, now what does that mean? That basically meant that the government of the Department of Immigration under this new NIV visa is giving out priority and authority to this Commonwealth or state or territory governments. So if they wanted to endorse or nominate someone that put much more weight compared to perhaps, for example, we have gone through the Tier 1 and Tier 2, right? We have gone through some of the elements required by the NIV candidates. If their elements could not be as much as the other guys, they probably only meet 2 or 3. No worries, if you can actually get endorsed or nominated by a state, territory, or Commonwealth government agency, then that weight will put much more and giving you priority 2. Now that is a very, very big stuff. So let's go back to the actual web page and we'll go into detail of the actual direction number 112 to actually looking into the actual policy as well. If we scroll down here, we'll see this right here. It says candidate nominated by expert Australian, Commonwealth, state or territory government agency. So can it be the local government? No. Can it be a city council? No. It has to be a state or territory or the Commonwealth. That means the government of Australia or Queensland government or New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia, ACT, Tasmania, Western Australia and Northern Territory. That's it. No one else. That's all the government agency that's there. So let's have a read about the detail there. It says, other indicator of the exceptional and outstanding achievement we may consider in conjunction with the nomination by an expert Australian, Commonwealth, state, territory, government agency include, well, it can be some athletes. So I haven't really come across with athletes. Now, these athletes really need to get a global, international medal or awards. It cannot just be some professional athlete. Well, has to be somewhat in the level, right? And the other one, okay, evidence of innovative investment activity, established track record supporting successful innovation ventures. So that can be someone really successful that bring in potential innovative projects or commercialization of whatever the product or services internationally, but they want to attract, so the state or territory government want to attract this guy coming to Australia, coming to that state, coming to that territory to establish perhaps a potential investment activity. That's the kind of person that they want, but it's really upon the state government's discretion to actually do so. Now, number 3 is evidence of promising entrepreneurial activity and led to commercialization of product or service in Australia, particularly willing to Commonwealth, state or territory-based innovation hubs. So now this one and this one is really similar. But what's the difference between the second one and the third one? Third one is more about they taking on, they accepting something that's already on the innovation hubs. That can be some research hubs or center or established by the Australian government, that's including Commonwealth, state or territory governments, and they really liked that project. They want that project, they want to inject more investments to enable that project to be what? Commercialized. So that's something like that. For example, some biotech projects. It may not be pharmaceutical, but it can be some sort of bio equipment or systems that has been invented utilizing laser, whatever it is, to actually treat something or detect something or test something. All right, and if that person has that vision to actually enable that project, the Australian-based project, to be commercialized, then that will be something somewhat to be considered by the state or territory government to actually endorse or nominate them. Now, one thing I wanted to also say that this is not the conclusion of everything else. There can be anything else that really giving the state governments the interest to actually nominate or endorse. Now, last but not least, is recognize intellectual property attribute to them. For example, holding a relevant international patents. Now, this is really a little bit vague. That means somebody has hold something and they bring that patent perhaps into the region, to, for example, state of Queensland, and perhaps cooperate or partner with the UQ, University of Queensland, to further getting that patent prototypes, whatever that is. This is a little bit vague, but it's somewhere along that line. But considering that the Australia is not really a manufacturing, commercializing hubs compared to almost any country in the Northern Hemisphere, so that would be really vague. I think that's why they wanted to enable the state government to actually have this incentivized options for the potential candidate. So it's really something really flexible. You can see. Now, I'd like to also take you to the actual direction 112, because there's a lot more detail. There's a hidden detail here. Now, if we go down to page 5 and go down to this part. Now, this part number 4 is basically talking about the state and territory government agencies. So as you can see, the actual law reads this, which may include, again, but not limited to. That means the following are only used as a reference. It's not the finale. Okay. Now, we have talked through about the sports that we have seen through from this list here. We talked about the investments. So they talk about as a significant angel investor doing the IPO and things like that. There's a little bit more detail here. Entrepreneurial activity, that's the same as the third one that we have talked about. And then the activity individual exceptional service to Australian community. That's something that we've already seen right here. Now, the hidden one here is F. Now I want to especially talking about F. It reads other exceptional achievements in the context of supporting agencies' strategic priorities. Now this is interesting. That really opens up a lot of opportunity, because talking about any context to support the agency, that agency means the state government's strategic priority. Now, what do you mean by strategic priority? It can be anything. It can be anything. For example, for the state of Queensland, they are looking towards to have a Olympic 2032 in Brisbane. Could they have a strategic priority on investing to infrastructures? Yes, they possibly can. So that's something really flexible and open up the opportunity for the state government or territory government to actually design their own strategic priorities. Now, you may ask, what are these strategic priorities for New South Wales, for Victoria, for Queensland, for ACT, for Tasmania, for South Australia, for Western Australia, and for Northern Territory? I can assure you they probably haven't had any idea yet, because this is so new. The NIV only came out last Saturday, and I think most of the government agencies are heading into Christmas 2024. I don't think they will have that brain cell to actually go and really design something for their own strategic priority. Anyway, they probably came out 2025, so stay tuned. Anyway, should you have more question, query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.